Hey guys, this is my Saturn 2006 Vue model, and this model has three cigarette lighters outlet installed. One is in the front of the console, the second one is in the middle console, and the third one is on the aft side of this console. All these three outlets are were powered directly by the battery and had absolutely no effect from the ignition switch. Even they were powered even with the ignition switch off, and this is what I didn't want. So last week I did a little alteration. I didn't mess up with the car's wiring, but instead I worked with the fuses, and I will show you in a little while that what I did with the fuse. But before I open up the hood of my car and show you what I did, I would like to show a little detail on the piece of paper that what I did, and then I will come back on this, open the hood and show you what I did. Okay guys, so this is what is normally the wiring, how it looks like for the current situation. That this is the car's battery, and we have a fuse, we call it F1. This battery is powering this lighter 1 through fuse 1 constantly, and this is fuse 2 installed over here in the engine hood, underneath the engine hood, and it is powering the rest of the two lighters. So as you can see in this schematic that it has no link with the ignition switch. The battery is constantly powering these lighters through fuse, let's call it fuse 1, and also through fuse 2. So my intention was, so what I did first of all, that I found these two fuses in my car. I removed this fuse from the socket. I removed it totally from the socket, and same I did with this thing. And I used the voltmeter to figure out which of these two legs will be, constantly getting power from the battery. So first of all, you need to identify that thing, that which of the leg is connected to the battery itself. By removing the fuse, I figured out for L1, it was this leg which was powered, and for the F2, I figured out that this was the leg that was, constantly getting power from the battery. So we need to identify those legs. So as you know that normally the windows in our cars are not powered on once we are once the engine switches at the off position. So I found that it will be much easier if I tap power from the window controls relay. So what I did was that I spotted the window relay in my car, in the fuse box, and we know that once we turn the ignition switch to accessories position, only then this relay is going to get power. Before that, we will not be, getting any power on this relay. So my idea was to figure out which of these four relays leg will get power once I turn the ignition switch to accessories. So what I did was that I removed this relay, and I put the voltmeter with the ignition switch off initially. I put the voltmeter and checked all the four contacts with the ignition relay removed. I was poking those probes into the relay base where that relay has to sit, and figured out that none of them was powered. And then I went to the ignition switch and turned it to the accessories, and again started checking voltages on all these four sockets. And what I found was that one of the leg got powered which was not powered initially once I was checking with the ignition switch off. So I figured out, okay, this is the relay leg which is getting power once I'm switching the power to the accessories, and we are really not interested that how this Windows power relay is feeding to the Windows itself. But what we are interested in figuring it out that which of this leg is not powered once the ignition switch is at the off and is powered once we move the ignition switch to accessories. So I figured out that, okay, this is the one that has the power. So what I did was that I removed this fuse out from the box. I kept the leg which has to be connected to the lighter. I kept that leg straight, and I turned the other leg. I folded it up like this. So basically, once I will put this back in the fuse, this connection will be gone. Similarly, with the second fuse, what I did was that I kept one leg straight, and the second leg I turned it up like this. So ultimately, I have once I will put back this fuse in its original position, ultimately this power from the battery will be cut off for both the fuses. So what I did was that I took a piece of wire and I soldered it to this fuse leg, and I soldered to this fuse leg. So this is what I initially did, that I have shorted them with a piece of wire, and then this piece of wire then I soldered to the base to the relay. So this was the relay that I removed. So I soldered another piece of wire to the base of that leg. What I mean is that basically there are two things. One is the base where this relay is going to sit. It has got 4 holes in that, and on top we have a relay which will go in 1, 2, 3, 4 legs. So these 4 legs are basically going into these holes on the fuse box. So what I'm showing over here is basically these legs. So what I did was that I soldered this wire to the base of that leg, which will go into that hole, which will be powered once I put the ignition switch to accessories. So I will show you in a minute that how does that look like. So what's going to basically happen is, in this case, is that once I put the ignition switch to accessories positions, this base, this window power relay would get power from the car battery, and that car battery power will then be tapped into the fuses and then to the lighters. So in that way, basically what I am doing is I am taking these constantly powered connections off, but my lighters will be powered through the window control relays, which will get power once I turn the ignition switch to accessories or engine run. In a minute, I will switch over to, I'm going to open up my card hood and will show you what I have done over there. So here's what the fuse box looks like, and if you look at the bottom of the fuse box cover, you can find out that we have a power window over here, and we have the accessory fuses, which I was able to identify. So here it is on my car. This is the power window, and these are the 2 fuses in yellow color, which are basically powering the my cigarette lighters. So what I have done is that this is what I did. With the fuse off, I checked with the voltmeter which one of them was getting power. So that way I identified the legs which I need to fold, because if with the fuse removed, if any of these connection is getting powered, it is directly getting power from the battery. The other connection is the one which is going to the lighters. Similarly, this is the window control relay with the ignition switch off. I poked in the voltmeters on all these 4 different points and found that they were not powered. With the ignition switch at accessories, I found that I was getting power in this leg, in this hole. So that is why this is what I did. That I tapped the power from that relay. You can see that I tapped the power from this relay, and I made a little wiring sort of thing that I showed you. It's basically it's a T connection between this and this leg and this leg of the fuse. The one of the fuse is going to go in this hole, the second is going to in this hole, and the power will over here. This is what basically it looks like. This is one fuse, this is the other fuse, and this is the one precaution is that you must solder this wire at the bottom of the relay leg, so that once it is going into the socket, it really doesn't hurt it and it goes fully in. So this is how it is going in, and this is with my. Make sure that you are folding the leg up right from the bottom, so that once you put it back, this connection doesn't get power from the battery, but is only getting from the relay. So this is it, and this is the only thing that I did with this relay. I tap power from here and give it to the fuses, and this moment onward, once I switch up my ignition switch, start the car, only then my lighters get the power. And this you can do with any other car. It's that much simple. And the good thing is that the fuses, they remain in line, and in case of any problem at the downline, these fuses will still be functioning their job and will blowing off in case of any problem. We are not bypassing anything, we are still using the fuses. I hope this is going to help you. I know that from car to car it varies, but probably this is the simplest way that we can fix it. I hope that is going to be worth doing project for your weekend project, I would say, and will definitely be a peace of mind also. Thank you.